Oh, hey there, Joseph here. Welcome or welcome back. In today's video, we're not staying here in this living room, but we're going on a trip to Italy. Precisely, we're gonna go to Venice together, which is my hometown. I'm gonna show you a little bit around. I'm gonna show you where I grew up, the countryside, the mainland Venice, which not a lot of people know. Also, we're going to Mantova, which is a very nice city in the northeast of Italy, as well as Milan as a last trip. So there's a little bit of going around. Keywords of this video is relationship with family, and specifically boundaries. I will walk you through what the relationship with my family looks like as now, what it was in the past. I don't have very traditional Italian relationship with family. It's a little bit different. So the reason why I'm sharing this is because I do think a lot of people can benefit from my perspective, because it's a little bit more focused on balance and mental health. I'm a very private person, so you're probably not going to see my family members, but you will see a little bit more of what bring me to where I am today. So hope you enjoy. Without further ado, enjoy the video. Located in the northeast of Italy, Venice is one of the most romantic cities in the planet. I used to spend 3 months of the year in central Venice, car-free and only walking, which is where I got my passion for walking. And walking around Venice brings up a lot of memories, and today I will take you where I grew up. Okay, so I am taking you today with me on my childhood street. So I used to spend 3 or 4 months of the year here. This is exactly the street I will do every day. It was really cool, so I'm going to show you around because it's very different from what you can see anywhere in the world. Imagine a peaceful residential place where your kids can grow up without cars and without danger, well, of course, the water. I used to play on this bridge all the time, and it's such a nice memory to walk back here. Also, it was such a wonderful weather and the perfect weather for a nice walk to Summer Square. Okay, so for the first time, I'm not alone on my video. So this is Nicola, which is my cousin, and this is Jenny. Hi. So we're taking a walk in Venice, and this is the view, guys. It's a beautiful day today. It's actually warmer than we thought, and I really hope you can hear this because it's kind of like, what was that? Oh. And we are like scared of seagulls. I hate seagulls. But yeah, so we're going towards Summer Square, and I'm going to show you how it is. It's really fun. Summer Square, or Piazza San Marco in Italian, is the biggest public square in Venice and one of the most beautiful in the world. Summer Square was one of Napoleon's favorite places. He loved it because it was not only a beautiful square, but also a place for people to enjoy the views. And we can't say he was wrong. If you are visiting Venice in the winter, it is fairly normal for the square to flood, but clearly not this time. After spending a nice afternoon shopping with my cousin, we went for drinks and food together, and then I enjoyed a walk all the way to the station on my own and enjoyed the winter lights. I love walking around Venice, especially in the evening. It is such a nice place if you want to have a drink and you can get lost in the little street. Absolutely stunning. Good morning, good morning. So, a little bit of a different place than usual. Today I'm taking a walk in the area where I used to live in the winter time when I was a kid. So we're talking countryside outside of Venice. I used to live in central Venice in the summer, and I used to live outside of Venice during the winter. So today I am just taking a walk close to the neighborhood where I used to live, and it's just really interesting because, you know, I haven't been back here for possibly 20 years. So the street that I'm doing now, which I'm going to show you, it's really on the countryside, and it's really flat here. You know, we are in Venice, so it's really flat countryside. There's no hills or anything. And what is really interesting to me is that you go so busy, life gets on the way, you never really go back to places and take the time to kind of explore in the same way you used to. And that's what I decided to do today. I have a little bit more time in my hands than usual, so I thought, you know what, it's the first time I come back after 20 years in this area, and it's the last time I am in Italy before I move to America for a very long time. So, you know, better time than now, am I right? My primary school. My primary school was quite literally 3 minutes from where I used to live. I used to walk my dog in this place, in this park every day, and I used to live there. I was walking every day to school on my own. My grandmother was partially blind. My mom wasn't available because she was working and my dad wasn't in the picture. So you gotta do what you gotta do, am I right? Walking around here, it's quite funny because nothing really changed, but somehow everything did change. So it is a very funny feeling. And I used to spend endless summers around here with friends on my bicycle running around, and we are in the mainland of Venice, just 15 minutes outside of Venice. Next, taking you with me in my favorite bakery. I will go here every day. They also sell bread, and I will have this cake every single day. It is a cream cake, absolutely delicious. I will not drink any coffee at the time, but now I do. Of course, that's what changed, I guess. And it is one of my absolute favorite cake. They only do it from January until May. It is a winter cake, super delicious. After this trip to memory lane, train back to Venice, it only takes 5 to 10 minutes from where I used to live when I was a child, and I am now meeting my cousin for lunch. We're going for a very traditional Indian restaurant, not very Italian, I will say, but him and his best friend wanted to make me try this food, which I must say was great. It was a mix between Indian and I will say Lebanese food, and it was absolutely delicious. Then we went into the Fondaco dei Tedeschi, which is a department store. This used to be a post office, and they turned this into a luxury department store, and it's owned by LVMH Group, so the Louis Vuitton Group. This is one of my favorite places to come. I love having lunch here. The food is delicious, and of course, if you love shopping, you have to come here. I spent days in Venice, catching up with friends, family, and unfortunately, some drama, which wasn't as calm as this water, and made me realize the importance of boundaries for your mental health. Now I'm ready for the next destination, which is Mantova. Family relationships are a work in progress, and let me tell you, my one was a rocky road. I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. My dad wasn't really in the picture. And when my grandmother passed, I was a teenager, and she was a huge influence for me. And when she died, a lot of challenges started to appear and come to the surface. And what happened was I had to take on a lot of responsibilities that didn't really belong to my age. But this helped me to become an extremely practical person, which can be a gift or a curse. In my case, it was kind of in between. I am an extremely practical person, an extremely pragmatic person. And the joke is always, you can call Joseph if you have a very practical problem to solve, but probably not the right person to call if you need to cry. And it's true, there's nothing wrong with it. I have to, I used to spend nights wondering how I could help other people. And if I can help you, I will do everything I possibly can to do it. But there is a thing that I learned, and you cannot help people that don't want to help themselves. You can solve other people's problems. You can give an advice, but then you have to take a step back and let them work with it, because that's their prerogative to fix what they have to fix. Sometimes there are some things that can be easier. Sometimes there are things that can be more difficult. And it's up to you to choose which one to prioritize in your life. In my case, I learned the importance of boundaries. Being a very pragmatic person, surrounded by people in my family that are extremely emotional, I always was the person that was extremely cold, extremely distant. People always assumed that I didn't have any feeling, that I didn't care, that I was really selfish. I always got told this in the past. But what is the difference between selfish and self-care? Selfish means that you don't really care about other people in general. That's just not something you care about. Self-care means that you preserve your mental health in line to help other people better. And that's where I got with it after years of therapy. I would put myself on the side to help other people, but then I kind of realized that in life you have to get what you give in a way. Not all the time, but if you've been doing it for a while and you realize nothing in return is coming, you probably should wonder whether it's worth it or not. And in my case, I learned the importance to live with my family in a different way, and that's how I build specific boundaries. Boundaries allow me to understand who really is worth for me to spend time with and whose life I am generally interested in. Sometimes we spend life and time with people that we are supposed to spend time with, that we should spend time with, that we have to spend time with. But at the end of the day, you have to really filter who you give your energy to. Something that can be a simple dinner for other people can be an extremely draining experience for you, because if you don't feel happy, if you don't feel that you belong there, if you don't feel like you have anything in common with those people, it becomes a very exhausting experience. It's really important to understand and to check with yourself, who are the people that you're generally happy around. That's my way of operating with my family. It works for me. It doesn't have to work for everybody, and I understand it's a very unique view. You have the freedom to choose how you want to operate on this subject. Mantova, it's about 3 hours from Venice, and I went there for 24 hours to visit a friend, and I took a look around for the very first time. Right in the middle of this beautiful palace, which is the house of royalty. The Gonzaga family ran Mantova for over 400 years, and as a result they became well known, celebrated, and of course they built this wonderful palace, which is, after the Vatican, one of the largest residences in Italy. It has over 500 rooms, castle, garden, and you have beautiful gardens and restaurants inside that you can visit in the summer. I love this city because it's not too big. If you are looking for a quiet little getaway in Italy, this is the right place for you. You have incredible food, and if you like art, this is one of the places that is worth seeing. The city itself, it's already very picturesque, but if you go inside the cathedral, which is in the city center, you will be blown away by the type of architecture you can have. It does remind me a little bit of the Vatican. It's the same influence and the same style, of course, and I never been inside this cathedral before. I'm not usually one of those kind of people to go into cathedrals because it's just not my vibe, but this was worth it. And if you're there, there's not much more to see other than this and the palace, so you might as well just check it out. It's really cool. Mantova is a place that you can see on the way to somewhere. It does not take you more than 24 hours to check it out, and it is definitely worth it to see if you are on your way to Milan, which is exactly where I am going next. Good morning. So I am on my last chapter of this trip in Italy, and I am in Milan. The weather is gorgeous. I have to say I found very warm weather considering that we are in February, which usually is cold. And yeah, so I'm really excited, and I'm going to show you a little bit of Milan around. Let's go. Milan is absolutely one of my favorite places in Italy. I lived here when I was in my early 20s. I worked and dated here as well. So if you're younger, you're in Italy and you're looking for inspiration, you're looking for opportunities, you're looking for a very good level of nightlife as well, Milan is the right place for you. It is not the capital of Italy, that is Rome, although I think it should be, as it is the financial capital if you ask me, but that's a different story. What I love to do in Milan is waking up early, walk around, and actually do a lot of people watching, taking a coffee and look around, look at the style, look at the fashion, look at the architecture, look at the influence that this city has. It is a very good blend between London and Paris, and it is definitely one of the places I have to see every time I come to Italy. I will take 2 days out of my trip and come to Milan just to really enjoy and recharge. This is what this city does to me. I stayed in Milan for 3 days, and I decided on this trip that it was perfectly acceptable to have an Aperol Spritz around 12 o'clock. I went to this restaurant on top of the Rinascente, which is a department store. You can see the Duomo from there. I had this antipasti of prosciutto, which is not great if you're vegan, but hey, this is it. I also had a wonderful pomodoro pasta, which was lovely. And let me tell you, this restaurant is not overly priced. I really liked it, and the view is stunning. So I caught a really good day for it. Something about me, I love traveling by myself as much as I like to travel with other people. This was a solo trip, and this trip was really a way to reconnect with myself and to kind of take a little bit of a mental break before I do the big move. I went to Starbucks Reserve, which is this very posh Starbucks in the middle of Milan. There is one in New York as well, and they do a really good breakfast. So if you want to take away coffee, it's really hard to have one in Italy. Here they will do it for you, and it's not just the usual typical Starbucks coffee. It's a posh coffee, and the breakfast is stunning. So if you have opportunity to go there, make sure you check it out. Fun fact about Milan, guess what is the second cuisine for excellence in Milan? It is sushi. You're going to find so many sushi restaurants. It is unbelievable. And I went to meet a friend of mine. We went to the Acero restaurant, which is in Porta Romana. It is this really tiny little place, but what I like about it, it is actually authentic Japanese. So it's not Chinese pretending to be Japanese. And what I love about it, it is super tiny. It is really, really tiny. You have to book, so make sure you do. It's not expensive, and the sushi is outstanding. I think I spent together with my friend about 33 euros, so not too bad at all. A really good place for lunch if you want to relax, chill, and have a little piece of Tokyo in the middle of Milan. That's the place for you. Of course, you have to love sushi, but I also do tempura, I believe. So it is a very cool place to chillax and decompress, and it is quite literally in the middle of Milan, and it's like having a trip in Japan in the middle of a trip to Italy. So why not experience? Am I right? Thank you so much for coming with me on this trip to Italy. If you enjoyed this video, you would love to see more vlogs and more educational content about video and content marketing, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell so you get notified each and every time I upload a new one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you same time, same place on the next video.